We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thịnh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chiến diệu pháp luân, giáo đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư lý khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and perfectly enlightened one. Nam mô Saranto Suche Doye Ela Hodi San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tanakta Toya Daja Lahade Tamyo Tambo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I am able to see and hear, I will receive it and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai jin wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jian wen de shou qi, yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors of Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、尽量大师、是父上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư và Thiện Tiến Hóa và Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và các vị thiện sư thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, my screen is dead here. Can you turn it on for me, please? Today is the 28th of May 2024, 23. We are here at Go Forest to continue discussing the first chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. We're on slide 157. And thank you all for coming. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, let's go jump right into it. It's right here on this side. It's probably time yourself out. Okay, it's in the midst of describing the verses that the Mahasattva uttered, the celestial kings of the fourth dhyana heavens. We went through this section where they describe those great rulers, world rulers, and their accomplishment, the Dharma doors. And at the end of that description, they have some verses that the world rulers themselves utter from the Buddha's spiritual help. So you're continuing on that. The Buddha is proficient in understanding every state. According to sentient beings' faculties, he lets fall a rain of Dharma.
佛善了知诸境界，随众生根于法语。
Okay, 158. He says here the Buddha is very good, excels at knowing all the states. 了知 actually 了解 understand, 知 is to know. So to understand, know, meaning that he looks at the state, he recognizes them, it's a 知, okay? 知 is to recognize it. You need to be able to recognize it. And then 了 is what? 闲了, what's 了? Huh? Are you awake? What's 了? 了 here is 了解. So he really thoroughly understands the states. So he knows the states, he can recognize the states, and he understands the states. How do you understand a state? Anyone knows? How do you understand a state? You see a kid laughing, it's a state. How do you understand a state? Anyone? Clearly you're not a Buddha. I just got proof that none of you is a Buddha. Wei Mao.
Yes.
Let's see who's a Buddha here.
Master, I'm not Buddha for sure, but I guess that because he's experienced that stage already, so he knows, he understands.
Does experience really help you understand? Experience helps you recognize, helps you know, okay? But understanding is something else, okay? Yes, the old abbot. Number one.
A Di Đà Phật. Một trong những danh hiệu của Đức Phật là Như Lai. Như Lai tức là cái cảnh giới mà cái chân không mà là mẹ đẻ của tất cả các vật cảnh tượng trên thế gian này. Không có cái nào mà không sinh ra từ cái Như Lai, cái cảnh giới Như Lai đó. Thành ra đương nhiên Đức Phật đã nhập được cái Như Lai đó thì Đức Phật biết những cảnh giới nào từ trong đó ra Đức Phật biết.
Okay, I'm based on this is too advanced. My question is based on something very commonplace, your daily life. How do you understand? How do you recognize and understand a state? For example, something happened. Someone is upset at you. Someone praises you. Okay, or someone runs into your car, someone keys your car. They understand that state. How? How? How can you understand yourself? If the Buddha can do it, so can you. But what's the difference what the Buddha is doing and what we are doing? What he can do and we cannot. He understands what is Yes Wei Mao.
Yes, Master. I think perception will lead you to an answer from your wisdom. And that's how you could determine if it is a state.
Right. Okay, that's wisdom. Okay, but specifically, what kind of wisdom? Let me tell you. I know you won't be able to answer it. So let me give you the answer. Okay? Hey kids, you know the answer? I have a prize if you have the answer. No? Because if they don't give up. I don't even know the question. Okay, the reason the Buddha understands every single state is because he sees the cause of that state. Agree or disagree? That's what you happen to do every day. You say, someone is upset and you say, what caused this? What did I do? Huh? Right? So that's the same kind of logic. The Buddha is incredible. His wisdom is incredible. He looks at whatever it is, he can go back to the cause of the state. That is wisdom. He has pinpoint accuracy. As to example, he said that he looks at the ocean, all right? And he takes one drop of water in the ocean, and he sees where that drop of water came from originally. First, it came from the tributary that goes to the ocean, and the tributary, the water from the tributary came from the rain, okay, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. He has that kind of accuracy. Isn't that incredible? That's the Buddha's for you. According to sentient beings' faculties, he lets fall a rain of Dharma. Now, he sui chung sheng gen. Okay, he says gen here, Chinese means root. So faculties here refers to abilities, but actually to the Chinese is much more accurate. It's the Chinese, it's root. What is the root? What is the origin? What is the nature, the origin of your abilities? It's not just faculties. All right? So the Chinese is much more accurate. When we translate it, gun into English, we use faculties, but I think it's you lose a little bit in the translation. Okay, but it's okay. Okay, so according to the faculties, according to the roots of living beings, he lets fall a rain of Dharma. This is very precise in Chinese Buddhism. He says, if the root of the tree, okay, is shallow, then he's not going to waste a lot of water for that root. If the root is of a redwood tree here in California, where the root is very, very deep, okay, then the water has to be plenty for it to penetrate down to go very, very far. You see that? So that's why, descriptively speaking, the Chinese is much better. The English translation really lost quite a bit. Okay, so it's very precise. Depending on your root system, you sprinkle so much water only. And that's the same thing as you recognize children's faculties, if children's root, and you help them, you teach them accordingly. Okay? And that's what the Buddha does. He, depending on how much the listeners are able to absorb, then he tells them appropriately the kind of Dharma, how much of that Dharma each time. So it's kind of nice, kind of cool, okay? It's not just like a dictionary here where you say, the principle is this. No, he actually, speaking of Dharma, oh, Abbot, pay attention. Speaking Dharma is not about knowledge alone, but giving only the appropriate amount for each person at the Buddha's level. Does it help? Okay, very good. Next, 159. He shows them the inconceivable essential door of transcendence. The God, still and serene, enlightens and enters thus.
为启难思出要门，此极尽天能悟入。
Okay, 160. Again, the translation a little bit off, you asked me, okay? It says that, the English says, he shows them the inconceivable essential door of transcendence. Okay, let me break it down for you. First of all, he says that 己 here is to reveal, to show. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so what the Buddha does is he shows. He tells us about things that we don't know, first of all. So when you listen to the Dharma, actually the process is actually of speaking Dharma is not simply throwing out things, but to show you things that you don't know that are important to you. That's the difference between a dictionary, a medical dictionary, versus a doctor. You say, doctor, I say, what's wrong with me? And the doctor said, let me go and check my dictionary. No, the doctor says, well, what are your symptoms? Okay, oh, in that case, then this is what the problem is. And we should take these types of tests to verify it. Okay? So qi here is to reveal only the appropriate amount of information and appropriate things. Okay? It's not simply knowledge. So this is a difference between speaking the Dharma versus lecturing on Buddhism. Agree and disagree. You take a class in Buddhism, the professors are more interested in telling you how much he knows, how much you're supposed to learn. Okay? Whereas, what is the difference between that versus a Dharma master or a teacher actually teaching you? Okay? The difference is that the Buddha is solving your problems. When you listen to the Dharma, what happens is that your problems are being addressed. Maybe not for 2 hours, but maybe for 2 or 3 seconds here and there. That's a difference between. That's why I saw the difference between Master XuanHua's Dharma versus the other monks' Dharmas, when the other monks keep on elaborating, expounding extensively on the principles and so forth. Master XuanHua, when you listen to him, he actually you feel like he's telling you, he's talking to you, and talking about your problems, your needs. Does it make sense? And that's the difference. The same thing. Same thing. When you go to work, the same thing. You don't just throw a lot of information at people, but you only address what is it they need. And then you do that, your boss will pay attention, will notice you. All right. So qi here is to reveal. Okay, not simply show, but also reveal. Nan su. So inconceivable. That's an Avatamsaka concept. Meaning whatever he views is actually not something that you can possibly imagine. Your wildest imagination, you still fall short of it. Okay? So be humble. Actually, what we're hearing is incredible. You think you understand? Let me assure you, you don't. Okay? What you understand is nothing yet. Okay? Inconceivable. Door of transcendence. See, I break it down differently than the way they translate, because they don't understand. That's why they translate like this. I would translate it as, he shows them the inconceivable essentials of the door of transcendence. That should be a translation. It's not essential door of transcendence. The essential door of transcendence doesn't mean anything. It really means the essentials of the door of transcendence. Let me break it down for you. Door transcendence. Transcendence meaning that you will transcend what? Your mediocrity. You yourself right now. Okay? You will transcend your own self, your own limitations. Okay? Transcendence, the monks and nuns like to explain it as liberation and so forth. No, I disagree. Okay? Liberation not in the sense of ending birth and death alone, but actually liberation here means that you liberate from yourself. from your own mediocrity, from your own self-imposed limitations. That's what great teachers do. They simply are not telling you about concepts. They're telling you about the door of transcendence, the ways for you to transcend your own limitations. Why is that? Because imperceptibly, you yourself, when you think about it, are resigned to your own limitations. Yes or no? You say, I'm too old. Too late for me now. Sounds familiar? Huh? I'm too short. Huh? Right? I'm a man. A man of a mind. Okay. So we have self-imposed. We're imposing limits on ourselves. Okay? And the Dharma, what it does to me, so exciting about the Dharma is that it helps break down those barriers and say, no, 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 no. You are much more than that. You're much better than that. So the Dharma liberates from your own self. It's not death, birth, and death alone. Birth and death is only a manifestation of your own self-imposed limitations. Have you thought about it? The Chinese, when they talk about birth and death, they say, "Oh, the Buddha explained the Dharma for me to help me transcend birth and death." No, much bigger than that. The Buddha is not simply happy with helping you transcend your own birth and death. He's much more interested in helping you transcend your own limitations, self-imposed limitations. Agree, disagree? I know I don't speak Dharma the way that the Chinese monks and Taiwanese monks or Hinayana monks talk, okay? Because I feel it's too self-limiting. It's not Avatamsaka-like. We are doing Avatamsaka. We're not doing all the sutras. So the transcendent is, I submit to you, is more than just transcending birth and death. It's about transcending your own limitations. You yourself says, no, that's all I can do. Because I'm a boy. I'm a man. You know, I like to be a man for some people. Okay? So, the door of transcending yourself, meaning he says, go there. Okay? Get close to that over there. And then kick it open. That's why it says door transcendence. It's there, it's right there, there's an opening right there, but you need to go through it. What he's actually saying, he's saying that you have to go through. He's going to push you through. You got that? It's so important. You always assume that, Master saved me, Buddha saved me. Buddhas cannot save you. Buddhas can only help you. That's what he says here. It's not my words. This is the Buddha's words. He says, I will show you, bring you to that door of transcendence right there, and you have to go through it yourself. That's my limitations as a Buddha. Any problems? I know you had a very heavy lunch today, but there's no excuse to fall asleep. All right? So far, so good? So it's very important. Don't, I know you keep on coming and say, Master, save me. I say, Master cannot save you. Only you can save yourself. Okay? Now, so there's a door of transcendence that you had to go through, but the essentials of the door of transcendence, what does it mean? The essentials. It is so dynamic. But you guys, somehow the way the Chinese explain this, it's so like blah. You know, like, what don't you understand? What are the essentials? Can you correct it, please? The essentials of the door of transcendence. The essentials. There's a "the" there. There you go. And copy it to the front and to lower it. So down there should be the essentials of. The essentials of the door. There you go. And correct the front as well. Prior slide as well. Okay, very good. Now, what are the essentials of the door? I know, especially you folks who go to universities, get a degree in Buddhology, you will not hear this. You will not hear this kind of explanation. Okay, Liam, what is the essentials of the door? Relax, come on. Oh my God, you're so serious. It's only the Dharma. What's the big deal? Yeah? What are the essentials? Can anyone help me? Yes, the Chinese lady in the back. The Chinese have an edge over us, but they're not taking advantage of it.
It says on the slides, just the enough information, only what's needed. That's the essentials.
Yeah, you use it against me. Some people have no shame, no integrity. Let me show you, let me produce results. I don't care how I arrive at results. I plagiarize, I steal from someone, it doesn't matter. My God, what is this world becoming? Yes, ma'am. Give Judy a microphone, please. 6.
Yes, Master. I'm just trying to answer, but to my thought, I think it's like how to enter the liberation of the 3 realm.
How to do it? That's along that line. Yes, Wei Mao.
Master, I heard Master talk that like Master YongHua just led his disciple to keep in a precept, something like that, to get to enlighten. So I think that's something similar to that.
Yeah, actually, it turns out when I listened to Master YongHua disciples lecturing on the things, one of the things that one of his disciples, I don't want to bring up his name because I don't like him. I'm not going to promote him. He used to say, let me tell you the key to today's lecture. Today's lecture is this and that. And I want you, after 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and 20 minutes, this is the key you need to remember. Okay? And that's the idea behind it, the essentials. What are the essentials of what I have been trying to teach you today? Okay? So it turns out, when Buddhas teach, when the great teachers teach, the great good no advisors teach, they don't give you a lot of information. You know, the wise one, like Master YongHua, where he teaches 1 or 2 sentences. How do you convey the 1 or 2 sentences? You only have time to convey the essentials. You don't need to know everything. This is what you need to do to go through that door. Okay? That door right there, okay? All you have to do is kick it down. Because I know you have strong legs. You see? So So the essentials vary from person to person, from moment to moment, from door to door. Okay? So the essentials are the essential information for you that you need to do to go through it. But what happened? This is why the Chinese Chan, the Chinese Mahayana is so incredibly wise, because what they do is they say, you want to learn Mahayana, you want to learn Buddhism, okay? You don't go to school, okay? You don't go to training school. That's not how you're going to transcend it. You go to school first, and then what do you do next? You follow a good no advisor who's going to give you the essentials, how to go through that. Because knowledge alone is not enough. That's what happens to people. They erroneously think that, I remember this because when I first became a novice monk, I didn't know much. I read maybe 100 of Master Hsuan Hua's books in English, and that's all I know. And so when I told my sister-in-law said, I want to become a monk. I'm very interested in Buddhism. I'm very intrigued by it. So he said, tell you what, let's get together next month. We'll talk about it. Okay? My sister-in-law is an American, is a Caucasian lady who has a PhD in child development. Okay? Very intellectual, very erudite. So the month later she showed up and she's brought to my table, we sit on the table and she said, we don't, just give me a minute. And she came back and plunked down 6 books on Buddhism. It says, let me tell you about Buddhism. After reading 6 books, she became an expert in Buddhism. And now I look at it and I say, wow, wow, Master Hsuan Hua will give me 1 or 2 sentences. Endure the suffering. She says, I have 6 books worth to tell you about Buddhism. Isn't that cool? That's the difference. Answer from JC.
요문은 마음의 문을 여는 것이다 생각합니다. 요문은 마음의 문을 여는 것.
Master, I think the essentials of the door means actually opening the door of mind.
Yes, that's correct. But it's not just opening the door of mind. It's also how to go through it. The essential is that he's going to give you a long list of things. He's basically telling you very, very brief instruction how to go through it. Not describing what the door is like, what it's made of, so forth. It doesn't matter. It's about breaking through. And then you see for yourself. And that's the difference. The difference is that if you follow the instruction, you break through it, then you say, wow, that saves me a lot of time. I learned so much about Avatamsaka Sutra, Buddha Sutra, Pure Land, Tantric, and so forth. No one told me how to go through that door. And once you go through it, you see that, wow, this is something else. This is not from the books I could find. And that's why the Chinese is incredibly wise. The Chinese system is that only the good no advisor can give you the essentials of the door of transcendence, where you can rise above your own limitations that you impose on yourself. Next, the God still and serene enlightens and enters thus. So this heavenly king by the name Jijing, is still and serene and quietude. Okay, so his guy meditates a lot. Okay, and he's able to enlighten to that, meaning that he's able to became enlightened, and not only became enlightened, he also penetrated. Ru here means to enter, meaning that it's not superficial anymore, but actually your Ru names, actually you're supposed to enter, not just stay outside. Okay, so he's able to immerse himself in this door of transcendence, meaning he knows a lot about the various aspects of. Once he went through there and said, wow, this information here, I didn't know before. It wasn't described to me before. Okay, next. Let's not overdo it. (161) With great kindness and compassion, the World-Honored One appears among us so as to benefit sentient beings.
世尊恒以大慈悲利益众生而出现。
As I was looking at I was preparing a lecture this morning, and I noticed, I went through this, I noticed that they didn't translate Heng here. And that's why I had to add this third bullet here. Let me explain to you. Okay. The World-Honored One, that's one of the 10 titles of the Buddha. He's among the world, he's most honored. This is not advertising. This is not self-proclaiming. World-Honored One means that the people in the know, in this world, we're not talking about you. Okay? We're talking about people in the know. Okay? People who have true wisdom, who have true knowledge. And that's why they don't hang around here. Okay? And they all realize that the Buddha is the most honored one. The highest level of wisdom, highest level of attainment. Okay? The whole world recognizes him as such. The whole world honors him. All right? So that's why it's called World Honored One. What does he do? He employs great kindness and compassion. You heard about great compassion, meaning great compassion is what? Let's talk about great kindness when you think about it. What is great kindness? Okay, kids, would you like a prize? If you answer great kindness properly, I'll give you a prize. You give up so fast. Oh my God. Self-imposed limitations. Okay, what's great kindness? Anyone? Okay, would you rather go into great compassion because it's defined as in the dictionary. What's great compassion? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Hi, Master. I was going to say, in regards to great kindness, would that be giving?
Giving?
Yes, Master.
Why is giving great kindness? I give $1 to a guy who wipes the windshield, cleans my windshield on the freeway. Is it great kindness? Not.
Yeah.
Okay. What's great kindness? You can choose. You can choose great compassion, great kindness. Either way, I'm game. Yes, 6 in Wei Mountain Temple.
Yes, Master, I think great kindness would be having your heart open to helping anyone.
Help anyone. Aren't you confusing great kindness with great compassion?
Well, compassion is also a emotional feeling.
Emotional? Wait a minute. That's
And
sacrilegious.
understanding. Compassion isn't really the same thing as giving, I don't think.
Okay. Okay, Master O Abbot.
A Di Đà Phật, đại từ đó là một cái phần thưởng đem cái niềm vui rất là lớn cho chúng sanh, niềm vui trong cuộc sống hàng ngày của họ, và cái niềm vui lớn nhất là cho họ giải thoát, an vui, giải thoát thành Phật, gọi là đại từ.
Okay. Translation. When I think about it. When I don't need to think, I translate for him. When I need to think, translation.
Emitofuo Master, great kindness is a great reward that we bring great happiness to living being, to their life, and the best gift that we can bestow on living being, bring the best happiness, and is to lead them, help them to become a Buddha, and that to me is great kindness.
If you have to give great kindness, and in order for you to become a Buddha, how can that be great kindness? You are being kind, but you have conditions. You're scheming. When you give joy, there's no scheming. There's no ulterior motives at all. For the Buddhists at least, when we give you something which is kind to you, there's no ulterior motives at all. We give, that's it. There's no other reason but giving, because giving, the receiver are happier. That's all. Okay? Be careful. Kindness here is to bring joy to people's lives. That's all the kindness is about. It's no ulterior motives at all. Can we be clear about this, please? I've been teaching you about kindness and compassion. I've been elaborating on compassion, but I never talked much about kindness. Now, it's very simple. Kindness is that make them smile. Maybe not with this, but inside. And that's it. It's no other reasons. When you're kind, that's all you do. There's no reason why you have to, so that you become smarter, you become enlightened, so that you like me, and so forth. That's not kindness. That's scheming. And to me, it's not kindness at all. Kindness is that I do something that will bring a smile on your face. That's it. Doesn't matter who you are. So far, so good? You too.
Yes, Master. A comment from Diego. Emitofuo, Master. Great compassion is to lead living beings to the other shore.
No. Anyone else? I'm talking about purity here. Never mind about compassion, I'm talking about kindness. Kindness is a purity thing for me, where you just want to bring joy to people. That's it. You only want to do that. Yes, 6.
Sir, I think compassion is like you help people to stop from suffering.
No. See? Wei Mountain.
Master, because I prepare your lecture several times, so I remember the concept. There's a Chinese which said, 无缘大智，同体大悲, is unconditioned, that is great kindness. So bring joy to the people you don't even know, you don't even meet. If we can do that to anybody, that's great kindness. And 同体大悲 is that same substance. When we see people suffering, we try to help relieve that suffering as if it was our own suffering.
Excellent. The Chinese is excellent. Chinese is very scientific about it. 无缘大慈同体大悲. That's a definition of 大慈大悲. Meaning that 无缘大慈, meaning that you're kind to the people that you have no conditions with. What does it mean, no conditions with? Total strangers. I don't even know you. It's the first time I met you. And I probably don't expect to see you ever again. And I'm still kind to you. I still want to bring joy to you. That's it. That's 大慈 is that. Okay? Meaning that you don't discriminate, and as I said, no scheming. You just want to bring joy to someone's life, that's it, and you're done. You're so free. Is that clear? You, the way you're kind is that you expect people to become enlightened. No, that's still not 大慈. 大慈 is great kindness, is that I have no expectations at all from you, for you, none whatsoever. I do whatever it takes to bring joy to your life, whether you smile or you cry, whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as you're joyful. Some people become joyful when they cry. No? Okay, never mind. You're not that kind of person, clearly. Liu said, seriously? Husband never told you about those things. Never mind. Okay. So you just bring joy to people. That's it. You don't care who they are. You know them, you don't know them, treat them the same thing, same way. Okay? Now I see in you already. I see how you approach all newcomers and say, would you like some food? Would you like this? Would you like that? Can I tell you about this? Would you like to know where the bathroom is? And so forth. Okay? But I'm reminding you for today, take a step further. Okay? Do it because you're nice, not because I told you to. I know you do it because Master says so. I know that all of you say, Liu say, yeah, Master says so, that's why I do so. No, do it, and then just do it because you want to do it. You want to be kind to someone, and you forget about it. Okay? Because otherwise, what happens when you do it and you say, I'm doing this because Master should be proud of me? Then you're scheming. You're scheming to please me. That's not great kindness. Make sense? Okay. Great compassion is 同体, same substance. What does same substance mean? At our levels, same substance means that don't be thrown off by the big word substance. Substance is a very big Buddhist word, very loud Buddhist word. Okay? What does it mean? It only means that you're the same. Okay? Meaning what? Meaning that if you're hurting, I'm hurting too. Because I can't stand it when you hurt. I'm not, see, this lady said, is it possible? He's hurting and he's hurting and Master is also hurting? No! No way! He's hurting, but I take his pain the same as mine. Why? What is the concept behind it? Because if I take his pain as if it's my pain, then what I do? Naturally, we find ways to solve it. If you have great compassion. And don't ask me why you don't do anything, Master, because I have no great compassion. I let him suffer. Got that? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so with great kindness and compassion, the Honored One appears amongst us so as to benefit sentient beings. So the Buddha is driven by the two forces, ICE and EV. It's a hybrid thing. You guys don't know. You guys are so boring. God, I can't stand boring people. What's ICE? Internal combustion engine. And EV is electrical whatever. Okay, so the hybrids, like the Prius, I'm trying to buy one, by the way. Anyone who has any tips? So the hybrids are the one that use the gasoline engine motor as well as electric motor. Okay, so they have the best of both worlds. Okay, they're not constrained. They have fewer constraints that way. They have more flexibility. Okay, and so that's what the Buddha does. He appears. He comes to living beings in order to benefit them. Okay, so he approaches living beings in order to to bring them great benefits, bring them a lot of benefits. Okay, and there's a heng here. It's not translated. Heng here means in Chinese means constantly. Okay, and it means that to me personally, I feel that we're not alone. Not alone at all. In a funny way, it's very personal for me because my master left me very early on my own, and I struggle so much every single day. As a matter of fact, unlike you who are, we are Mahayana practitioners. For me, every day was only survive another day. It's that bad. And then next day, I got up. I say, should I quit? No, I survive another day. So I drag myself day after day after day. No light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? And for some reason, it's kind of weird. For some reason, I never thought that my master abandoned me at all. Never. For some reason. And sure enough, later, when the time came, he would appear and relay a message to me. Do this, do that. So he's watching over you. Same thing with the Buddha. Buddhas are constantly watching over us. All right? So, not only watching, but Buddhas are more than just watching. He appears amongst us. He took on the same body as us in order to teach us. That is called 同事, same work. Okay? Meaning that if we came here as a deer, then he will appear as a deer to speak Dharma to us. We came here as celestial king, then he will appear as a high-powered celestial king to speak Dharma for us. That's what he does. Next, 163. He evenly sprinkles the rain of Dharma to fill each vessel. The God pure brightness proclaims thus.
等与法语充其气，清净光天能演说。
It's 164 commentary. So these verses are kind of interesting. Before that, they talk about how the celestial kings became enlightened and what they're doing now after they're enlightened and what is their specialty. Okay, but now in the verses, the celestial kings are giving us insights themselves as to their perspective, what they understand the Buddha, because they're closer to the Buddha. So that's why when they look at the Buddha and they say, oh, that's what he's doing. That's why he's doing it. Whereas for us, much lower level, we cannot tell. So that's why it's so insightful to listen to what these, to look at these verses. So this God, pure brightness, he says, the Buddha evenly sprinkles the rain of Dharma. Okay, evenly is not really, should be translated as evenly. I would say that Deng here is impartiality. Deng here means that he treats everyone equally. Okay, not evenly. There's no such thing as evenly. All right? So he's impartial. He doesn't care if you're yellow, if you're short, you're rich, or you're smart, or stupid. He's the same. To him, it's all the same. Okay? So it's very impartial. All right? He feels each vessel. Vessel here. It's called 中极气. Qi here is Fa Qi. Qi here is a short Chinese for Fa Qi. Fa Qi here means that Dharma vessel, translates Dharma vessel. Means what? Means that each one of us is a Dharma vessel. Each one of us contains the Buddha Dharma. That's how the Buddha looks at us. He says, you are a Dharma vessel, she's a Dharma vessel, she's also a Dharma vessel. That's how he sees us. Okay? And he fills us up with Dharma. So he fills his Dharma vessel, meaning that he tops us off, okay, with the Dharma. So that's why, in a way, to me, this is incredible. This kind of wisdom is incredible. He looks at us, and he sees us as Dharma vessel. Yeah, you, Dharma vessel. Okay? And see, he's not impressed. So the Dharma vessel, he says, oh, that's a Dharma vessel. So he fills him with enough Dharma vessel to be Dharma vessel himself. So he looks at us and says, this is the most Dharma I can fill you up with. Isn't that cool? Isn't that kind of interesting? He sees every one of us as a Dharma vessel. Meaning what? Each one of us is important. You cannot say, he's not important. Never mind. Okay? You got that? It's no discrimination. Every one of us is a Dharma vessel. We fills up each one of us up with Dharma. So he sprinkles the rain of Dharma to fill us with the vessel. So he came to our world, spoke Dharma, and then as he spoke Dharma, he fills in each and every one of us with Dharma. Okay? Yeah. And the God, pure brightness, proclaimed us. Pure brightness is Jing Jing Guang. Guang is so his light. His light emanates from his utmost purity. Okay, he practices purity, and when you practice purity, you emit a lot of light. Okay, and 能言说, so the God pure brightness is able to expound on it. 能 here is actually, it's a certification from the Buddha that says, what you say is correct. Again, it's not translated properly. 能 here came from the Buddha. The Buddha says, whatever he says is I certify to be true. He's capable of saying these things. Don't you feel that the Chinese is so much more complete than our English translation? There's so many holes in the translation. So that's why if you really want to teach or really understand the Dharma, you need to learn Chinese. The Chinese Buddha Dharma is very profound, much more so than English translations. I'm sorry, there's no substitute for it. Okay? The end of it. Now, next section is we go into the third dhyana. Okay. Previous section, the fourth dhyana, the top of the form realm, heavens. Now you go lower to the third dhyanas. Okay, and these are big shots. Okay, big shots, but they hide themselves and try to pretend to be some lowly celestial kings. Okay. So you see, that's what happens in Mahayana. The big disguise himself to be lowly, to be small. These people are huge, and yet they became celestial king. You know why? Why I said it's lowly? Because celestial kings here, as soon they see a fourth stage arhat, they're supposed to bow down to them. You know that? In this world, if you have wisdom, okay, you're a celestial king. You may be a celestial king, but as soon as you see a fourth stage arhat, meaning someone enlightened in Mahayana, you bow. So that's why they disguise themselves. They bow very happily. (166) Moreover, the celestial king, pure wisdom's renown, gain a passage into liberation of comprehending the skillful means of the path that leads to the emancipation of all sentient beings.
复次，清净慧名称天王，得了达一切众生解脱道，方便解脱门。
Okay, that's a really mouthful, isn't it? Okay, so the first celestial king and the third dhyana heavens, by this guy, when it's listed first, he's very, very powerful. Okay, the order matters. So he is this celestial king, pure wisdom's renown. So he's very famous, very well known among the third dhyana heavens as having pure wisdom. Okay, meaning the Mahasattvas and Buddhas certify him to be a leader, to be a superior cultivator. So it's well known, very well known. Very well known, not because it only is a function of time, but actually he became well known because of the promotion from his bosses, from his superiors. He gained a passage into liberation. So he became enlightened, he became liberated, he attained liberation. Okay? So he understands the expedient or the skill and means that would help living beings attain liberation. Okay? Meaning that, in order for living beings to become liberated, okay? Liberated from their sufferings. We're not talking about enlightenment alone. Okay? That goes from low-level emancipation as to high-level emancipation, meaning that at low levels you could reduce your suffering, and at high level you can end your suffering totally. So he has all this full range here of expedience, okay, of expedient devices he uses in order to help people attain liberation at all levels. Why? For some reason, I don't know why the Chinese insist on liberation, emancipation at become enlightened, and to me it's like saying that the only thing that matters is enlightenment. No, it isn't. Enlightenment is one level of emancipation. Low level also get emancipation as well. I remember the Chinese, my Chinese peers or Dharma brothers used to tell me, every time you improve, you have small wisdom, small insights. Okay? And that's emancipation. You're free from your own impediments. See, so there is emancipation in these living beings at various levels, and this celestial king and third dhyana here, he excels at using expedient means to help them attain emancipation, to free themselves from the suffering. Okay? So he's very skillful in order to help living beings. You need to use expedience or skill in means, and this is where the Hinayana people fail to be good teachers, okay? Because they don't know expedience. Whereas in Mahayana, we need to train you, okay? We need to give you the proper foundation. When you reach a certain level, when you're high enough, then you'll be taught how to save living beings by using expedience. Before that, you cannot use expedience. Specifically, in Mahayana, you cannot really use, you don't know how to use expedience until you use at least 7th ground Bodhisattva. Even so, at 7th ground Bodhisattva, your experience is so coarse that you just like learning how to walk, learning how to save some living beings. It's how demanding, how rigorous our world is. Okay? It's a lot to learn. This whole world to discover. Okay? So this guy here, he knows how to use expedience to liberate all living beings, meaning liberates the practical Buddhas, that's 1, liberate Arhats, that's 2, liberate the gods, that's 3, liberate how to use expedience, liberate human beings, that's 4, liberate Asuras, okay, the ones who like to fight, who like to drink, okay, that's 5, and what else do we have? Bodhisattvas, that's 6, and then you have the hells, hungry ghosts, and the animals, that's 9. Okay, so all those beings, even he knows how to save bodhisattvas from their own mediocrity. How do you go here? Why does it have? Why does it have Mencius here? Not Mesius, it's Mencius. I don't understand. The Mencius teaching is, but what does it have to do with this guy, this celestial pure wisdom? Yeah, these two slides refer, these slides and the next one refers to the fact that people accept the fact that their minds are scattered. They're not worried about it. When a cow, if you are a farmer or a cattle herder, when your cow wanders off, you worry about the cow right away. Okay? But when your mind wanders, you say, it's okay, it's no problem. And what he meant is saying your mind is much more important than the cow, holy cow. That's why I think he's saying, but he dropped the holy cow. And Confucius, and furthermore, he says, you keep it under control, it stays with you. And once you let it go, then it's lost. It comes and goes at random. Who knows where it wanders? Again, it's a mind. Okay? And what the interesting perspective here is, I remind you, is like, I think it's yesterday or something, where, no, it's Friday night, when we talk about Wei Shan, great Master Wei Shan, who said to Yang Shan, and said, Ting Jiu. Okay? You stop and you imprison it, then the wisdom grows. Same principle. Okay? Meaning that you need to think. You mean that is to keep it under control, meaning, hey, stop running, like you pull on the reins of a horse. You don't ride horses? How do you people live? How can you live like this? Actually, it's the last time I rode a horse like decades ago. Because we cannot ride horses. Believe it or not, after you become fully ordained, you can no longer ride a horse, little boy. Okay? Okay? So you think and you chill. You stop the mind. Think is stop thinking. Chill is restrain it. Okay? That's what Confucius is talking about. But Confucius is more Chinese, is more literary, whereas Master Wei Shan is a lot more brutal. 听教, 长知. Lovely, lovely teacher. So keep it under control, stays with you. When you let it go, it's lost. And the mind, again, Confucius, it's just Confucius. Comes, go around, who knows where it wanders. Confucius is too verbose. Master Wei Shan is 听教, 长知. Got that? Okay. Next, 170. Celestial King Supreme Views, gain a passage into liberation of universally manifesting like light and shadows in a way that delights all the celestial multitudes.
最胜见天王，得随一切诸天众所乐，如光影普示现解脱门。
Okay. So this 171 commentary, this Celestial King, Supreme Views, 最胜见, so his views are supreme. Okay? I'm intrigued by the name Supreme View here. Okay? Because when you see jian in Chinese, when you see view, the word view, the concept of view, what does it tell you? Oh well, I feel so lonely. Everyone? View? View is confusion. View is prejudice. You Korean, right? Korea number 1. That's a view. Vietnam, soup forever. One sui. 10,000 years, long live Vietnam. Another view, yeah? Anti-communism, another view. See that? Confusion. And yet, he has supreme view, most supreme views. 最胜 is most supreme view, most superior views. So what kind of view would be most superior? And that's wisdom. Huh? What kind of views would be supreme? I know when I ask you questions here, I know some of you, can I answer? But I know you cannot answer, that's why I ask you. But go ahead, answer. Surprise me. What are supreme views? If views are confusion, how can you be supreme? You're not Nazi, are you? Hi, Hitler. Yes, sir. 2. What supreme views?
Maybe a view about wanting to go, thinking that the Pure Land is the best place for us to go.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, okay, you in the back.
无我见、人见、众生见、寿者见. So no view of self, others, long living, and living beings.
Yeah. I knew it. Anyone else? Huh? How can you have a supreme view? If view is confusion, how can you be most supreme views? Yes, sir.
So is his view a confused view also?
Confused view also? Why not?
No, I'm asking you. Is it? Is he confused?
I asked first. You cannot ask me back. God, I mean, these people have no respect for boundaries. Way mountain.
Master, based on our Asian value, is the view of loyalty.
View or loyalty. What about devotion? You're so half kind of guy. Okay. Yes, the doctor.
Emitofuo Master, my humble opinion, is it possible he or she seen every single possible confusion view, so once he saw it, he immediately know it is confusion?
Too Chinese.
Thank you.
Anyone else? What supreme views? JC, comment.
Master, I think this is what help other people to get enlightened.
How other people become enlightened? What if they don't want to become enlightened? Yeah, ask your husband. Sarah, ask your husband. You ask him, would you like to become enlightened? Say, hell no, I have better things to do in my life. Yeah. 2.
Out of all the views, this is the closest thing to wisdom.
Closest to the wisdom? Okay. Second trial. 4.
One more try. Is it possible he can immediately see whatever the other side, the Confucian view is, and then 同视, like they will indulge or be in the same Confucian view, so the other side will be willing to.
That's rather complicated.
Yeah, too complicated.
If it's that complicated, how can it be supreme?
Maybe it's not. Thank you, Master.
You know, supreme means it's a pyramid. Meaning it's only one, not like 2, 3, 4 sentences. Anyone else? Huh? Anyone? Wow, I catch you all the time. I always trick. You always got tripped by me. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. Could it be supreme view is when they look and they know exactly what is the right thing for that one person or the entity to get to the other side?
Don't change your day job. Okay. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, I think that views that keep the celestial king in that position to have the living beings.
Okay, louder. Be more assertive. I think one more time with more assertiveness.
That's the kind of view that help the celestial king to be in that position to have the living being.
Wow, this guy's good. He's wicked. I am not sure I'm comfortable with this him now. Exactly. I trick you. What's supreme view? Most supreme is what? Most supreme amongst the third dhyana heavens. All of you are measuring yourself against Buddha and so forth. No! You only need to be most supreme among your peers. Oh God, you're so easily tricked. Oh my God. Mother never taught you. You see, I'm tricking you so that in the future, your students cannot trick you anymore. The only supreme view meaning that amongst the celestial kings and third dhyana heavens throughout the universe, his views are recognized as the wisest. That's all. It's not equated to the views of the Buddhas or anything. It's just among those his peers, he's the wisest. All right? So he's recognized by his peers as have tremendous wisdom. Okay. Wei Mountain. Someone disagrees with me or what?
No, Master. I'm just asking, does the Buddha have views or does the Buddha have no views?
Buddha has no views. Because remember, views are confusion. You confuse, that's why you have views. So what do we do to undo your confusion? We set you on the right course by starting out with the right views. Because you're confused. That's why we said, have this view. Don't just believe in the other views. Have this proper view here. Okay, so he became enlightened by universally manifesting like light and shadows, and the light is the multitude. So what he does is this guy is kind of fun. He manifests in order to his work. The nature of his work is that he makes appear light and shadows. Okay, so it's like during New Year's Eve we see these light shows, fireworks, and so forth. Okay, and so he does that, and really it is so fantastic that it's delightful to the other gods. And that's how he became enlightened. Does it make sense to you? Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, so you mean that because he was able to share joy and kindness, if this is the same one, with his peer group, and he was able to bestow that to them, they found delight in that then he became enlightened. Is that what you mean?
No, he's incredibly astute. Okay, here's how he works, which is my interpretation. Okay, I'm not his level, so whatever I say, just take it with a grain of salt. What he does is that he entertains the gods, the other gods, and his skills of entertainment is fantastic. That the gods of the third jhana heaven love to watch his light and shadow show. Whatever he does, he manifests. Every single god says, wow, yeah. They become very happy, okay? And that's how he draws them to cultivation. So cultivation with him is fun. Not a daily grind, like, grind down, oh my God, do more pain. And you go, we should get, the massage guns are on sale right now. If, Cordelia, anyone would like to be kind-hearted, buy a gun, massage gun, and pass it around during lectures. And I bet you someone would really appreciate it. It was so cool. It would be to have you, when it hurts, you put it, you turn it on. So it's this first exposure to you, your first exposure to how these celestial kings operate. They don't simply, like dry and cut like the Vietnamese who say, I want you to become enlightened, and to become enlightened, you need to cross your legs and do pain, and then more pain and more pain. This guy here entertains them, and they like it. Okay, and they said, if cultivation is so much fun, I like to do this. The reason I bring it up is because if you want to help them who are reluctant, especially remember the gods are very averse to pain and suffering. Right? You become gods and goddesses because you are entitled to have fun. I use the word entitled, folks, meaning the young generation now, they feel entitled to have fun. Yes? Okay? So that's why this God, what he does, he entertains them. Hey, you want to have fun? I show you fun. And then somehow he finds a way to get them to cultivate. And he makes cultivation fun. Hint, hint. You want your children to gather in your children. Gotta give them fun. Cultivation has to be fun for them. You, great cultivators, can endure pain, right? Okay, I break down. I buy you a massage gun. My idea, I pay. Just for go forest, because I'm inspired today. I need to buy the fancy one that's not as noisy. Because you buy the cheap one, you go. Yes, 6.
Thank you, Master. I just want to share that last night on our way drive home from DTT, my children was there helping install the bunk bed. They only install half of it, but then when they, on the way home, they want to say, Mom, I challenge you. When you chant, can you do chanting but in a rap way? so I say, okay, we'll try it next time when we sit together and chant.
Yeah, that's an idea. Okay, so entertaining the gods. To me, it's kind of, this guy is so cool. This is the first guy I really like. The other is kind of boring, you know. Incredibly insightful that he could manifest a light and show, light and shadows. Celestial King, serene virtue. Gain a passage into liberation of employing the great expedient that universally adorns and purifies the states of all Buddhas.
极尽得天王得普严净一切佛境界大方便解脱门。
So this guy here has the virtue of stillness and quietude or serenity in a single thought. Look at how powerful he is. He can adorn the Buddha lands of 10 directions and make appear wonderful states, Buddha states. Okay, and so what's the meaning of this? How can you adorn and purify the state of all Buddhas? Okay, what he's talking about is this guy has incredible blessings. When you have blessings, you become very adorned. Very much like if you equate blessings with money, anyway, it's easy for you to understand. Blessings equals money. If you have a lot of money, will you go shop at Marshall's? No. You go to Rodeo Drive or Union Square, right? It's the same thing. So you adorn. He can adorn the Buddha land's 10 direction in one thought. It's very, very powerful spiritual penetrations, and that usually comes from the Buddhas. Bodhisattvas are not quite there yet. All right? So the way he does it is that his specialty is to adorn and purify the Buddha states. Okay? So he goes around and chases after Buddhas and provides adornments for the Buddhas. 174. Celestial King Sumru Sound gain a passage into liberation of helping out sentient beings who keep drifting forever upon the ocean of birth and death.
须弥因天王得随诸众生永流转生死海解脱门。
Hey, wait a minute. Very assertive. Hey. So this Celestial King Sumru sound. So the sound is as imposing. It's very imposing sound, and it's very lofty. Sumru is wonderfully high, wonderfully virtuous. Now, what Sumru Sanskrit term stands for: lofty, virtuous, tall, high. Okay, so his sound here is very imposing and wonderful. And also Mount Sumru is the tallest mountain in our galaxy. So it's 42,000 yojanas high. Okay, yojana is, I don't know. I forgot what yojana, how big yojanas are. But that's how tall Mount Sumru is in our world. Sumru is about 42,000 yojanas high. Yojana is something like, someone look up yojana, please. Okay, anyway.
It's between 3.5 and 15 kilometers.
3.5 to 15 kilometers.
KM.
That's how precise it is. Okay? So the Mount Sumru is how many kilometers up? Well, it's pretty, it's up there. Okay, so 150,000 kilometers up. Okay, because it's a spiritual mountain. So each world at the center has a Mount Sumru. So that's how each world is built, the structure of each world, if you will. Okay, the King Sumru sound here refers is this guy is very, very, very imposing, very powerful. Okay, and when you hear it, it sounds wonderful, and it can be heard up to the heaven of 33. That's the Christian God's heaven. Okay, so Mount Sumru is the top. Okay, his voice. Okay, can be heard up to that level. And he became enlightened by according with living beings' desires. Instead of telling people that, no, you should not be greedy, he says, okay, I will encourage you. Okay, I will help you get what you want. Okay, so he accords with living beings' desires. So it's a different way of teaching. Okay? Why is that? Obviously. Why? Now it's so many shakers. If I didn't know you better, I look at you and be able to... It's weird. Everywhere I look now, everyone is shaking. And look at Jewel Kong. Look at that. God, so happy too. Look at her. I'm cool. Hey, dude. Okay, and so accord to living beings' desires. He accords with their wishes, and by according with their desires, he managed to help them escape the wheel reincarnation. Doesn't it sound contradictory? It's something wrong. You really believe this? Yes, 6. How is it possible that you want your stupid desire and he comes and says, okay, no problem, I will grant you your wish. and somehow you escape the wheel. How is it possible?
I think when he grant your wish, then you get a lot of what you want already. Then whenever he give you advice, you tend to listen and then you do it.
No, too Vietnamese.
Oh, thank you. I try.
Yeah. Anyone else? It doesn't make sense to me. Why is it we want things like crazy? She wants more money, clearly. And the guy comes along and says, I helped you get more money. And that's how she escapes the wheel of reincarnation. How is it possible? It's not possible. This is so interesting. You guys don't understand. That's why I point out that's not possible. Yeah. You agree everything I tell you. Yes, 4.
Emitofuo Master, I think this is just an experience. By trying to grant whatever that being want, then the good knowing advisor can actually guide them and advise them or lead them to the right way.
Close. Very good. Mama is not bad. Anyone else? Can I suggest you look at how you help your children? Yeah? They don't want to eat lunch, do they? No rice, no broccoli, no vegetables. What do they want? Ice cream. Okay? Can you say no ice cream? You give them no ice cream, well, guess what happens? I'm going to go home. Right? So that's what it means. It means that if you want ice cream, he'll give you ice cream. Okay? And guess what? You're happy. Okay? You satiated. And then you trust him. So when you're hungry, you say, Mommy, I'm hungry. Guess what? You say, would you like ice cream? You say, no. This is why, hey, how about some broccoli? See that? Patience. You don't force your way. You wait. You court the wishes, and when the time comes, what do you do? Like with children? I know you do it already. Why you look at me that way? That's what you do. I know, I noticed that. You accord with them first, because you cannot fight them. If they cry, they scream at the top of the lungs, you're not going to make it, okay? So you accord with them first, okay? But then you convince them to want to eat rice, to eat meat, to drink milk. So you accord their wishes only temporarily in order for them to trust you, so that get close to you. That's when they follow your advices. That's what you do to your children already. And I ask you, really? Or is it my imagination? I don't have any children, so please don't take everything I say about children as the gospel. Isn't that right? Huh? That's what you have to do with children. Yes or no? No? Okay, fine. Way Mountain. Hey.
That reminds me of the story I heard of the mob would they were promoting records like back in the 80s or something, and so they would give these record store owners, they'd be like, hey man, here's a bunch of money, or like, here's a bunch of free records, you can sell them and keep all the money. They'd be like, oh, thank you. And then they'd come back a week later and call them up and be like, oh, hey, we got this record we want you to play. And they'd be like, oh, man. It was like guys from the radio, so that's what the Bodhisattva's doing. he's like bribing them to then follow the way.
That's right. That's right. Hey, you're getting better. Stop moving your eyes. It looks much better. You're not moving. Oh my God. You got that? So that's why he says, don't think that he's stupid. He says he accords your wishes and accord with their desires. Okay, it's out of wisdom. Okay. Next, 176. Celestial King, eye to purity and mindfulness. Gain a passage into liberation of recollecting the thus come one, and thereby being able to regulate and subdue the activities of sentient beings.
净念眼天王，得意念如来，调伏众生，行解脱门。
Okay, when I read it this morning, this section here, it says, King of eye of pure mindfulness. And I said, pure mindfulness? What is pure mindfulness? How can mindfulness be pure? Okay, so it tells you that, you know, the translation, sometimes you wonder where they come from their perspective. The eye of purity and mindfulness. Okay, so he's very few desires. He's a pure person, but he's very mindful of what? The Buddha. Meaning what? He recites the Buddha's name. That's one way, very simple way of being mindful of the Buddha. You should be doing it too. Instead of thinking round and round and round, recite the Buddha's name. Be mindful of the Buddha. And you creating blessings. Right there. You keep your mind running round, 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 you're not creating blessings at all. But if you're mindful of the Buddha, Emitofuo, Emitofuo, Emitofuo. Okay? And that will not stop you from thinking when the time comes. You'll be surprised. You start with reciting Buddha's name, and when something comes along, you say, whoop! You state of concentration and zoom into that problem to fix it right away. Whereas most people, ordinary people, don't know that. Ordinary people, they have to think, and they keep on spinning the wheel, thinking and thinking and thinking, so that when the problem comes along, the mind is tired, is exhausted. Whereas if you recite the Buddha's name, under normal circumstances, all the time, recite Buddha's name, when something comes along you need to solve, your mind is much fresher, much more alert. And you can concentrate much better. So that's the advantage of being mindful of the Buddhas. And that's what he practices, by the way. That's what brought him to this level. You could do it too. That's how far you can go. Okay? So by recollecting, being mindful of the thus come one, okay, and because he's mindful, he's able to regulate, subdue the activities of the sentient beings. Okay? So being mindful there enables him to enter samadhi, meaning that he has, as he's mindful of Buddha, okay, Buddha's name, mindful of the Buddha, thinking of the Buddha constantly, recollecting the Buddha constantly, actually he's accruing a lot of blessings, and he's actually charging up his batteries, if you will. Think about it. Your batteries is charging up instead of being scattered, thinking and being scattered. Okay? And so therefore he has the wherewithal, the power and the wisdom to regulate and subdue the activities of sentient beings. Okay, chúng sanh xỉn解脱门. So whatever sentient beings like to do, he's able to use his strength and his wisdom to regulate and subdue the inappropriate activities of living beings. Okay, it's not simply talk, but he has the power and the wisdom to actually help living beings, not just know about it. Okay? Next, 178 will be the last one today. Celestial King, delightful universal illumination, gain a passage into liberation flowing forth from the universal doors, ocean of Dharanis.
可爱耀普照天王，得普门陀罗尼海所流出解脱门。
Okay, commentary 179, but first we have Mui Mountain who has a question.
I apologize for interruption. Master, back in slide 176, the Chinese translated to Vietnamese, the Chong Shen Heng, it can be related to mindful of the conduct of the Tathagata, about how he subdue and regulate living beings. That is a different type of translation. Was it correct?
Tiếng Hoa, tớ y niệm如来调伏众生hưng. Oh, you know, that's right. That's probably a better interpretation than the English interpretation. What he's, and I appreciate your bringing it up. Okay, and point out my bad, my wrong. Okay, this interpretation in Vietnamese is much better. Vietnamese says that the Buddha, the thus come ones, has this practice of the multitude of practices or conducts to subdue and regulate living beings. And what he does, he's constantly mindful of the Tathagata's various practices. That's how he became enlightened. And I think that makes more sense than the English. Very good. Oh my God, the Vietnamese. Now you have to learn Vietnamese too. Just in case. Okay, very good, Ah Hong. I give you what's the reward for this? Kudos to you. Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay, 79. Celestial King, delightful universal illumination. This his light here that he emanates makes living beings, when they encounter his light, become delightful. The light makes them delightful. And so living beings seek him out, are drawn to him, and he became liberated by flowing forth from the universal doors, ocean of Dharanis. Let me check the Vietnamese first before I open my mouth. So he accomplished his liberation by using Dharanis, various Dharanis, as many as the ocean. So he's a specialist in secret school. Okay, so Dharanis is a Sanskrit for mantras. So in Buddhism, we have tons of mantras as such. We have Tibetans who specialize in certain set of mantras. In Vietnamese secret school, they specialize in certain sets of mantras. Our mantras came from Master XuanHua's lineages, where he specializes in the Shrangama mantra, which is necessary for us to subdue the demons. Without that, we struggle a lot. Okay, and then the Great Compassion mantra, One Yin Dharma doors, are to help. Very important for us to help bring relief to living beings suffering. So it teaches us to be more kind and more compassionate. Okay, so our Dharanis, my master, Master XuanHua, is a specialist in secret school as well. His strength is really in Dharanis. You look at his explanation of the mantras. Incredible insights. Okay, his insights on mantras to me are more. His explanation on Dharanis are a lot more insightful than his chant explanation, for example, to me personally. And so here's this guy here is a specialist in Dharanis and in mantras. And he chose to do his work by bringing delight into living beings. So whenever they see living beings, see him, especially all the celestial beings see him, they are very delightful. You have to keep in mind that these are heavenly beings, celestial beings, therefore they are very happy already. But when they see him, they even more delightful. Which is not easy thing to do. It's very powerful. All right? Okay, everyone, thank you all for coming. We stop here today. Wow, that's the last one. I need to prepare a new set of slides.